The weapon designed to be the ultimate symbol of fear, the Imperial Death Star was never built by the Empire. Instead, the Jedi built it? But why? The first battle of the Clone Wars ignites in the Geonosian arena. Underneath the arena, a small Jedi strike team, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker, are drawn by a tremor in the Force to a heavily fortified command center. There, they find Poggle the Lesser presenting a glowing holodisc to Count Dooku. The ultimate weapon, Lord Tyrannus, the Geonosian leader buzzes. It will shatter worlds. Just as Dooku makes for his classic swift escape, the doors are blasted from their hinges. Mace Windu becomes a storm of purple energy, while Anakin predictably rushes headlong into the fray. In this reality, Master Yoda arrives sooner than he did in the movie. Instead of engaging Dooku directly, he reaches out with the Force and brings tons of rock and machinery crashing down from the ceiling, completely blocking Dooku's escape route to his solar sailor. The room is thrown into chaos. Dooku is now trapped, forced to defend himself from the combined ferocious assault of Yoda, Windu, and Skywalker. In the desperate frenzy, the holodisc containing the Death Star schematics is knocked from his grip. Anakin finds himself distracted by how powerful Yoda and Windu are. So as Dooku creates an opening and Force leaps over the debris toward his only exit, Anakin Skywalker's eyes fixated on the prize. He made a choice. Instead of clumsy battling, Anakin steps back and opens his senses with the Force. He is drawn to a tumbling disc that falls from Dooku. Anakin swiftly secured the disc in his robes, noticing how it was pulsing slightly with dark energy. Surprisingly, Dooku found a way to escape both Jedi Masters, but he leaves Geonosis empty-handed. The Jedi now possess the most dangerous secret in the galaxy. Hours later, aboard a Republic cruiser, the team examines their find, schematics and test data for a unique moon-sized sphere with a super laser powered by massive kyber crystals. The purpose is undeniable. It's a superweapon. Anakin's eyes are wide, filled with a disturbing mix of horror and awe. Anakin wonders, is this why he was drawn to the disc? Masters, this could end the war, he murmurs. He seems humble, but ambition is bright in his eyes. Yoda, on the other hand, his face has mask of deep worry. Yoda shakes his head slowly. A dark design this is, he warns the group. Temptation, it offers, a path to fear. The debate that follows in the Jedi Council chambers is the most fiery in a generation. Master Yoda, supported by masters like Plo Koon, argues passionately for the plan's immediate and total destruction, seeing them as a poison, a Sith creation that can only lead to ruin. But Mace Windu, his expression grim and his jaw set, counters with a brutal pragmatism. He sees a republic on the verge of collapse, bleeding soldiers and resources on 100 fronts. He proposes the unthinkable, sanctioning the construction of a small-scale prototype. Not for conquest, he argues, but as the ultimate surgical tool, a weapon to hunt down Dooku, decapitate the Separatist leadership, and end the war in a single decisive stroke. When all is said and done, Count Dooku is still a Jedi in the eyes of the galaxy. It is our responsibility to bring him to justice. He has become powerful and resourceful. We will use the plans as a tool and nothing more. Torn between his master's wisdom and the grim reality of the war, Obi-Wan Kenobi reluctantly lends his support to Windu. The council votes. The motion passes by a narrow margin. The Jedi Order, the keepers of the peace, are now in the superweapon business. The Jedi Council greenlights Operation Stardust, a top-secret mission with the goals of the construction of the superweapon and the relentless, high-profile hunt and capture of Count Dooku. Mace Windu, the plan's staunchest advocate, takes direct supervision of the project, which is hidden away in a secret Jedi shipyard in the deep core. The grueling task of actually hunting Dooku across the Outer Rim falls to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Quinlan Vos. And the chosen one, Anakin Skywalker, with his unmatched affinity for engineering and mechanics, is given the monumental task of overseeing the prototype's construction. Time elapses. The Clone Wars rage on, growing more brutal and costly with every passing day. Obi-Wan's hunt for Dooku becomes a frustrating and demoralizing game of cat and mouse, stretching from the shipyards of Fondor to the acid rains of Deco Neimoidia. Every near miss and clever escape by the Count only serves to reinforce the Jedi Council's belief that only a decisive, overwhelming blow will end the conflict. Meanwhile, in the secret facility, Anakin thrives. Surrounded by advanced schematics and top technology, he finds a type of peace and purpose. Anakin is happy. The project, codenamed Operation Stardust, becomes his singular obsession. He pours his brilliance, his focus, and his desire for control into building the weapon. It feeds his pride, validating his belief that power, properly wielded, can bring order to a chaotic galaxy. He relentlessly scavenges separatist tech from battlefield wreckage, reverse engineering systems, and making brilliant intuitive leaps that shave remarkable amounts of time off the projected construction timeline. Dooku, for his part, knows the Jedi have his master's plans, and this knowledge seeds a deep-seated paranoia in him. He retreats to his ancestral home, the Grand Fortress on Sereno, and transforms it into one of the most impregnable strongholds in the galaxy. He surrounds himself with impenetrable shields, legions of droids, and his most elite guards, daring the Republic to challenge him. He feels safe, untouchable by any conventional fleet. He has absolutely no idea what the Jedi have been building in the shadows. Finally, after nearly 2 grueling years of construction, a considerable amount of Jedi financing, and countless dead ends in the hunt, the weapon is ready. Operation Stardust is about to enter its final terrifying phase. What do you think the galaxy looks like if the Jedi build their own Death Star? Would they use it as directed? Would they be able to resist its power? Subscribe for more Star Wars what-ifs and let us know your theory in the comments below. The peaceful skies above the aristocratic world of Sereno are torn open as a small, gray moon suddenly emerges from the swirling vortex of hyperspace. It is the Bright Star, the Jedi's prototype battle station. It's only a fraction of the size of the original design, but its silhouette and focused energy signature are unmistakable. From the command deck, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Mace Windu watch as the lush planet fills their viewports. On the surface, within his throne room, Count Dooku looks up at the readings from his sensor arrays in utter disbelief, his aristocratic calm shattering into rage. "Fools! Hypocrites! I hate them!" he snarls to his advisors. "You condemn my master's grand design while building your own pale, inferior imitation. The Jedi, architects of a Death Star. How the mighty have fallen." Before his planetary shield generators can reach full power, the Bright Star fires. A single, lance-thin beam of brilliant green energy strikes not the planet, but the space just above Dooku's fortress, shattering the shield generator and all orbital defenses in a silent, fiery detonation. The Jedi have used a sledgehammer to knock on the front door. Forced into a direct confrontation, Dooku meets them in his cavernous throne room, as lightning from a manufactured storm flashes outside the high windows. The duel is legendary. Yoda immediately engages his former apprentice, a whirlwind of green light, against Dooku's elegant crimson blade. Their battle shakes the very foundations of the castle. While Yoda occupies the Count, Anakin and Obi-Wan methodically dismantle the elite Magna Guards. Then, at a critical moment, as Dooku attempts to create distance from Yoda's relentless assault, Anakin sees an opening. With a single brutally powerful strike, he does what he failed to do on Geonosis. He severs Dooku's hand. The Sith Lord cries out, disarmed and defeated. They finally have him. Under a forceful interrogation, Dooku's story confirms the Jedi's deepest fears. The Sith are orchestrating the entire war, and Chancellor Palpatine is the Dark Lord Darth Sidious. But before they can act on this galaxy-shattering information, General Grievous, in a daring and chaotic raid, manages to free Dooku. A desperate final confrontation unfolds not in the halls of power, but in the fiery, industrial heart of Coruscant, in a sector known as the Works. Masters Windu, Kenobi, and Skywalker all corner Dooku one last time. There is no grand throne room, no escape. The duel is brutal, desperate, and fast. Fueled by years of war and the intoxicating power of commanding the Bright Star, Anakin Skywalker overwhelms the aging Sith Lord. He ignores Obi-Wan's pleas for restraint and Mace Windu's direct order to take him alive. With a final, vicious strike, Anakin executes Count Dooku. With Count Dooku dead, the separatist movement fractures. Without its charismatic political leader, the fragile alliance of corporate interests and disgruntled systems collapses almost overnight. General Grievous is a fearsome general, but he is no statesman. He alone cannot hold the Confederacy together. The Clone Wars grind to an abrupt halt. Armed with Dooku's testimony, and their own terrifying superweapon orbiting Coruscant. The Jedi Council confronts the Senate. They expose the entire plot, revealing the existence of Darth Sidious and naming Chancellor Palpatine as the enemy they have all been fighting. This forces Palpatine's hand. His intricate plan relied on a long, drawn-out war to consolidate power. Now it lies in shambles. He must accelerate his endgame. Anakin Skywalker is hailed as the hero of the galaxy, the man who built the weapon that ended the Clone Wars. But he feels haunted by his actions. Executing Dooku in cold blood and wielding the planet-killing power of the Bright Star have scarred his spirit, pushing him ever closer to the dark side. Obi-Wan senses this deep, corroding change and redoubles his efforts to guide his troubled friend, but the path to becoming Darth Vader is no longer a certainty. It is now a struggle, fought with every breath, every single day. The galaxy is safe from the Imperial Death Star, but it's left in a state of profound unease. The Jedi have won, but at a terrible moral cost. By building and using a superweapon, they've crossed a line, a moral event horizon from which they may never be able to return. To some in the galaxy, they are no longer seen as peaceful keepers of justice, but as an aggressive, secretive military power, accountable to no one. The ultimate question remains. With his identity exposed and the Jedi now in command of a superweapon, what does Darth Sidious do now? How does he twist the Jedi's newfound power and their terrifying new weapon against them? What do you think would happen next? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this trip to an alternate timeline, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more.